Hello students, good morning. Welcome to online learning. Students, in 10th standard science, we have been discussing many concepts from the chemistry part, and today we are going to learn an interesting topic. Before introducing the topic, I would like you to show some pictures, and by seeing the pictures, you have to guess the topic which we are going to discuss now. Okay, look the first picture. It is a piece of iron plate. An iron plate is taken, and the month is also mentioned at the top. The month is mentioned as March. Okay, it is an iron plate which is left uncovered. It is not covered at all. It is free to the atmosphere. Okay, so if you observe the same plate in April month, May, June, July, and so on, what will you observe? It will become rust. We know that rust is a formation of a brown color layer over iron things. Okay, so this rusting is due to what? Due to the interaction of iron with oxygen as well as water. Then come to second picture. Here what do you see? You are seeing a ship in which the sides are rusted because of the interaction of this ship with sea water. It becomes rusted. Then thirdly, look at this wall. What do you see? You see there is a white color layer on the wall. Okay, dear students, all these pictures are of same kind, and these are due to the interaction of a material with oxygen. Okay, and this process is termed as corrosion. Corrosion is destruction of anything by the interaction of a material with the surroundings. That is called as corrosion. Look here. Here I have given the scientific definition of corrosion. What is given? Read. It is the gradual destruction of metals. Not only metals, any material. Okay, it is the gradual destruction of metals by chemical or electrochemical reaction with the environment. Okay, that is called as corrosion. When a metal interacts with environment, it is getting corroded, it is destructed. So that destruction of a metal with the interaction of environment is called as corrosion. That is given as the definition here. Once again, let me read the definition. What is called as corrosion? It is the gradual destruction. Why it is given gradual destruction? Because the corrosion of metals does not occur in a single day. It takes time. Okay, it is a slow process, and so it is called as gradual destruction. So it is given that corrosion is the gradual destruction of metals by either chemical or electrochemical reaction with the environment. Okay, and look at the second point. It is a natural process, which means automatically it is taking place. When a metal is left uncovered, when it is allowed to interact with the atmosphere, it is naturally taking place, and so it is given that it is a natural process which converts a metal into its oxide. So dear students, as a result of this corrosion, the pure metal is converted into metal oxide. In the example of a rusting of iron, when iron is rusted, it will be converted into iron oxide. Okay, not only oxides, they can be converted into hydroxides, sulfides. Okay, so it is given that it is a natural process. As a result of this process, the originally pure metal is converted into its metal oxide, metal hydroxide, or metal sulfides. So as a result of this conversion, the metals lost its originality. It is given that so that it loses its metallic characteristics. As a result of corrosion, the metal losing its original characteristics. Okay, Mama. So this is the definition of corrosion. Okay. Now come here. For corrosion, I have taken the example of rusting of iron. Okay. Here we are going to see what is called as rust. It's given that rust is chemically known as hydrated ferric oxide. The term hydrated is responsible for the association of water molecules. Okay, hydrated ferric oxide. The original iron is converted into ferric oxide, also with its hydrated form. Some water molecules are associated with it, and so it's called as hydrated ferric oxide, and its formula is Fe2O3 xH2O. A number of water molecules are associated with this rust. So it's given that Fe2O3 X H2O. The original Fe, that is iron, is converted into Fe2O3 X H2O as a result of corrosion. So rusting can be considered as an example for corrosion. Okay. Then look at the second point. Rusting results in the formation of scaling reddish brown hydrated ferric oxide on the surface of iron and iron containing materials. Okay, you all might have seen about rusting. The originally shining iron material becomes a reddish brown layer because of what? Because of corrosion, and that reddish brown layer is due to the formation of Fe2O3, that is iron oxide, or we can say ferric oxide. Okay, what dear students? So remember, rusting is the best example for which one? For corrosion. Then come here, we are going to learn about the types of corrosion. Students, we have two types of corrosion, and those two types are, number one is dry corrosion and number two is wet corrosion. So what are the types of corrosion? Dry corrosion and wet corrosion. Let us see them one by one. First, let us see about dry corrosion. It can also be called as chemical corrosion. Okay, let us see point by point. Look at the point number one. The corrosive action in the absence of moisture. The metal is not allowed to interact itself with the moisture, which means it is covered. In the absence of oxygen, this kind of corrosion is taking place, and so it is called as dry corrosion. So what is point number one? The corrosive action in the absence of moisture, which is known as dry corrosion. Then come to point number two. It is the process of a chemical attack on a metal by corrosive liquids or gases such as O2, N2, SO2, H2S, etc. Okay, so students, dry corrosion is a process of a chemical attack. A chemical is attacking over a material, or in an alternative way, some of the gases like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, such kind of gases interact with the metal, and so the metal is getting corroded. Such kind of corrosion is called as dry corrosion. Okay, and there is a condition for this dry corrosion to occur is given. It occurs only at higher temperature. It is not possible at lower temperature. It is possible only at higher temperature. It is given that it occurs at high temperature. And dear students, here a number of gases given. Those are oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide. And out of those gases, oxygen is the highly reactive gas which can produce the dry corrosion. Okay, mama. Okay, so under the heading of dry corrosion, what are the points we have seen? The corrosive action is in the absence of air, and it is due to chemical attack or by the interaction of gases like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide or hydrogen sulfide. It occurs only at higher temperature, and of the all gases given, oxygen is the most reactive one. Okay, okay. Then let us see about the second type, which is wet corrosion, or it can also be called as electrochemical corrosion. Okay, the name itself implies that wet corrosion, which means in this case the metal is interacting with moisture. So it is given that the corrosive action is due to the corrosive action in the presence of moisture is called as wet corrosion. So in this case the metal is interacting with moisture, and so the metal is getting corroded, and it is called as wet corrosion. Okay, okay. Then come to point number two. What is given? It occurs as a result of electrochemical reactions of metal with water or aqueous solution of salts or acids or bases. So in the case of wet corrosion, there is an electrochemical reaction of metal with either water or with acid or with base. Okay, and so it is called as electrochemical corrosion. Okay, my dear students, simply we can say dry corrosion is in the absence of air, whereas wet corrosion is in the presence of air. Okay, okay. Now let us see the methods to prevent corrosion. By following, what are the methods? How to avoid the metal from getting corroded. Look here, method number one, alloying. Dear students, you are familiar with the term alloy. What is called as alloy? When a metal is mixed with another metal, a new substance is produced, that is called as alloy. So, in order to prevent a metal from getting corroded, the metal can be converted into alloy. So it is given that the metals can be alloyed to prevent the process of corrosion. Example, stainless steel. Students, in the stainless steel, the major part is iron, but it is not getting corroded. Why? Because in stainless steel, not only iron is present, it is a mixture of many metals. It is alloyed. Iron is alloyed, and so the iron is prevented from getting corroded. So this is the first method of preventing a metal from getting corroded. In order to prevent the corrosion of iron, it is mixed with many metals and it is converted into stainless steel, and stainless steel does not get corroded. So alloying is the first method to prevent corrosion. Then second method is galvanization. It's very important process. Look here, it is the process of coating zinc on iron sheets by passing electric current. Zinc will not get corroded easily, so that to prevent the corrosion of iron, what is coated? Zinc metal is coated over the surface of iron so that the corrosion of iron is protected, and this process is termed as galvanization. So galvanization is the second method used to prevent corrosion. Then thirdly, electroplating. Look at the name, electroplating. Plating in the sense coating of a metal over another metal. Electro in the sense it must be taking place in the presence of electric current. So it's given that it is a method of coating one metal over the another metal by passing electric current. A metal is coated to another metal by passing electric current in order to prevent corrosion. That is called as electroplating. Then fourth one is anodizing. Okay, so it is an electrochemical process that converts the metal surface into decorative. Okay, in order to convert the surface of a metal to decorative, durable and corrosion resistant, one metal is coated over the another metal. Mainly what is used? Aluminium is widely used for anodizing process. It is also a method of coating one metal over the surface of another metal. Okay, then finally we have the method cathodic protection. Students, it is a method of controlling corrosion of a metal surface is coated with a metal which is easily corrodable. Okay, the easily corrodable metal is coated over another metal so that when the metal is suspected to corrosion, the easily corroded metal is corroded, whereas the precious metal is protected. Can you able to understand? A metal is taken and on its surface another metal which can easily undergoes corrosion is coated, so that when this coated metal is suspected to corrosion, the easily corrodable metal is getting corrosion, whereas the precious metal is protected. Okay, Mama? Okay, so with this the methods of preventing corrosion is over. Here what are the things we have seen? Let us recapture one time. First we have seen what is called as corrosion. So it is a gradual destruction of metals by chemical or electrochemical reaction. Then rust. About rust we have seen. Rust is the hydrated ferric oxide, Fe2O3 XH2O. Then types of corrosion. We have two types. One is dry corrosion and the one more is wet corrosion. Dry corrosion is in the absence of air, whereas wet corrosion is in the presence of air. Then methods of preventing corrosion. First one is alloying, then galvanization, electroplating, anodizing, and finally cathodic protection. Okay, dear students, with this video ends. It's very important as well as easiest concept. You can watch the video twice to have a clear and better understanding. Thank you.